Welcome back to the Barca Breakdown. Thank you guys for watching. If you could please like our video, subscribe to our channel. We're coming out with a lot of great Barca content this year. Hopefully we're coming out with some on Saturday afternoon use. I know you saw Real Madrid-Liverpool where Real Madrid won 3-1 today. Vinicius Jr. seemed to learn how to score for the first time in 2+ years. Has me a little bit worried. How do you feel about the Clásico?
Well, I do have my concerns with watching that game today. I did talk about how positive I felt. I still feel very positive. I just think we need to do those things that I mentioned in the last pod. If you didn't hear it, go back and listen. But I still feel positive. We can do this, and this is our time to shine, right? So
Sure.
Let's go to some lighter news here, though.
Well, I think one of the big things we said that we need to do against Madrid is have Messi back in form, which he usually needs at least a game after a big break to get back in form. And speaking of Messi, if you can believe this use, it's been 9 months since the Burofax heard around the world, right? A few months after our humiliating loss to Bayern Munich 8-2, Messi sent that famous fax to the Barca board, right, saying, I think there's a clause in my contract that lets me leave free.
It is crazy. I think that, we've come so far since that time. There was a point where we were storming the Camp Nou, saying, get out of here, Bart. All the fans are pissed. They were not happy. But on top of that, what the heck is a Burofax?
I think a Burofax is like, our American equivalent of like a certified mail or like a notarized note. I think that's like a business communication they do in Spain that like lets people send secure documents that they can use in court or like, for contractual things. But I digress. There's some news today, Use, that has Messi and Barca and his future on everyone's mind, right?
Oh, yeah. So, Jose Alvarez, a reporter, came out, made a little article here that said Messi wants to stay. So, we're pretty excited about that. But why do you think he wants to stay? Why change of heart? I mean, it's been 9 months. There's a lot of time. Things have changed for sure.
Well, I think, exactly that, man. Like the whole structure of the club from the leadership to the team on the field has changed, right? I think there's kind of two big reasons in my mind that stick out is like, one, Messi enjoys leading the youth of this team, right? I think throughout this season, we've seen his relationship grow, and we've seen him very happy for Dest, Pedri, Frankie, Dembele, Ilaix, Puig, Fati, right? I know. Like on the top of my mind, I'm always thinking about Dembele and how we see a lot of pictures in training with Messi and Dembele, whereas in previous seasons, Dembele was either hurt or we questioned how much Spanish he spoke. Now it seems like they're in training all the time, very happy, and Dembele's learning from Messi. I also, I thought it was very heartwarming when Ilaix Moriba, after his first goal, he posted a nice before and after picture, and it was him and Messi when Ilaix was like 8 years old, and then now it was the present time when after he'd scored a goal, hugging Messi, being on the same team, and then Fati, Puig, as La Masia talents, they've always had a love for Messi, and then Pedri. I think Pedri is the big one who, for all of us Barca fans who are watching week in and week out, we see that Pedri has become a midfield force that Messi's always looking for, and I think he has to love having that midfielder who he can connect with. And then I think on top of that, not only is it about leading the youth, but if you look across Europe and you look at the best teams, I mean, we're seeing a really tightly contested race in Serie A, in the French league, in the Premier League. There's no clear better team right now in my mind for Messi to go to. I think you add a striker to our team, and we're doing really well. Right, I think the two big teams 100%. That everyone thought Messi would go to were Man City or PSG, which I think have nearly our level of prospects for the future. On the Man City side, it seems like they're really suffering financially and can't afford a signing as big as Messi. On the PSG side, I mean, a few months ago, yeah, you heard a lot about Messi and PSG, but now you hear that Neymar might want to come back to Barca, which not a fan of, and you also hear that Mbappe is slowing up their talks there. So I think that on the field we see a lot of indications that there's new blood and there's a promising direction that he's happy about. What do you think in terms of the leadership has changed that makes him want to stay?
Well, in terms of leadership, I think one of the biggest things is having Laporta come in and replace that filthy slime Bart, who I've talked about many times, I didn't like. He always doing his whole scandal, Barca Gate, right? That was the big thing that he did.
Yep.
He ended up paying a PR firm about 6 times the rate of a normal
Media
payment
firm,
to this firm.
Mhm.
Yeah, media firm, to disparage some of our players, some of our biggest players, like we're talking about, Messi
PK.
and PK. And right, so that's bad blood there that we kicked out of our leadership. On top of that, Laporta came out and said, Messi, I hope this doesn't embarrass you, but I love you, and the rest of Barcelona loves you, kind of thing. And he's kind of sending out some feelers to be like, hey, please stay. We really want you here. Things are going to get better. Let's do this together, kind of thing.
True.
And everybody's going to be happier.
And the big thing is Laporta was the president before, at the end of his
True.
reign, 08, 09, 10 is when Messi was in his golden age, as was the Barca team. And so, there's a lot of warm feelings there, right? And, Messi is someone who's very bashful and doesn't like the public eye, but I think Laporta, chose that moment to say, Messi, I love you, right? It's kind of a big thing to say. And I felt it really showed that this is a new page in the club's history where we're turning away from that, scum Bartomeu, and we're going forward towards, a president who's giving us leadership and showing Messi, the greatest player of all time, the best player in the world currently, how much he respects him.
Speaking of Barca, all of Barca loving him, right? There's a mutual love for Messi, who loves Barca and has his whole family here, right? So I know you love everything Messi, infatuated by him, his wife, his family. So give me your ideas and thoughts about that.
Well, I think it is, it's easy to see when you hear interviews from Messi about his childhood, right? Where he has a deep love and appreciation for Barca more than anyone could imagine, because Barca gave him everything. He also does talk about how it was, traumatizing, right? He came to Barca, 12, 13, 14 years old, all the way from Argentina, had to leave his family, his friends, come to a new place. And so I think, he really felt forced out because Bartomeu, and the way he disrespected the players and how he didn't have any sort of team philosophy to build on these last few years, right? Where we got signings like Gomes, Paulinho, even Arturo Vidal, some of whom put in good shifts for us, but clearly weren't part of a
Malcolm.
weren't part of a sporting project to build towards the future. And so, I think now that Bartomeu's gone and Messi's here, he's also rethinking the fact that, hey, do I really want to make my kids have to leave Barcelona, where they've grown up, where they've gone to school? Do I really, I've achieved so much from such a humble town in Rosario in Argentina, and I've gained all this in the world in terms of wealth, in terms of like safety and security. Does he want to put his kids through the same, tumultuous road of leaving where you've grown up and all your friends and going to a new land where, Spanish is probably not the native language? And so I think that kind of rolls into the leadership changes, the changes on the field. And I think everything's pointing to Messi wanting to stay, right? I think at the end of the day, as we wrap up this video, my opinion is we're going to see Lionel Messi next year, and I'm so excited. And I really think, there's a real reason and a real change here in the club in the last 9 months that have kind of validated this new Messi wanting to stay.
Sure. I totally agree with you. But with that, guys, I hope this video meets you well. I hope it gives you some pretty positive vibes coming into
Classico. El Clasico coming up.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna have We're gonna have a video. We might do a pre-Clasico video. We'll definitely do our classic post-Clasico video,
of course,
and podcast. And we just want to say thank you guys so much. If you can follow us on your Spotify podcast at Barca Breakdown, subscribe to this YouTube channel, like our videos.
Yes.
It would really help us.
We're
going crazy this year with the videos. Yus and I are very excited.
Share with your friends. Share with your friends and family.
If you know anyone who likes Barca, anyone who wants to support us, we'd really appreciate it. Thank you guys so much, and have a wonderful week leading up to the Clasico. Try not to bite your nails too much like I'm about to do for the next 5 days.